We basically create our scenes with their own styles and everything ready for us to basically working on exporting this and having it in our PowerPoint or in a like a poster or whatever format that we want to use. This process that we're gonna do is called in SketchUp called exporting as a 2D, but basically in other software like a Revit or AutoCAD or 3D Max, it's called basically a rendering process. So what I'm going to do is I just want to orbit this one, so I'm going to see the other side of the house as well. And let me just update this scene. So I'm going to select the scene 1 and update it. Okay. Now that I have this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the shadow. So if you remember, I bring the shadow settings by right clicking up here and then bringing the shadow menu up here. I also have the option of shadow in my default tray by going to the window, default tray, and turn the shadow on. So I'm gonna go over the shadow on both sides and I'm gonna turn the shadow on. So now I have the shadow of my building. So that's looks pretty good, except that what I don't want at this point is seeing this axis in my drawing area, because it's gonna kind of disturbing the whole being a photorealistic type of like a drawing. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna go to the view and I'm gonna go and turn this axis off. So now the axis is off. It's more than photorealistic as it is. I'm gonna move my drawing a little bit to this side so I can see a little bit of more of my my shadow. So the shadow is kind of complete. Now that kind of I have what I was looking for, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna update this scene. So select the scene, update it. So that's gonna be, yes, it's gonna be updated based on that. So this is gonna be my first scene right here. When I have what I want as a scene that I want to export, I will go to the file and then go to the export, and I'm going to use the 2D graphic. So under the 2D graphic, what I can do is that I can define what type of file I want to save as. I have multiple options. One of them is EPS file, which is usually used when you are using a Photoshop. You can use a JPEG file, or you can use it as a PDF or other format that you want. Sometimes PNG is good because it's separated the background from the image, but depending on the purpose, you can use different file format. Then we're gonna go to the option, which is going to be showing the option of the export. You can either use the view size, which is right now is 1321 or whatever size of the height of the screen as it is, or we can uncheck this one and then put the number that you wish for, and then down here making sure that this anti-alias is on, and here you want to make sure that this is going to be the highest quality that you want to have. And after you're done, you just export it as export. Let's say, for example, export number 2. I'm going to export this, and that's going to be my first image of this project. Down here, I'm kind of satisfied with kind of like a view that I create the style that I have. I want another one. So what I'm gonna right click, and then I'm gonna add another scene. So by right clicking and adding a scene, I basically make a duplicate out of that scene, which is scene number 5. I'm gonna click on the scene number 5. It's the same scene as it is, and I'm gonna orbit this one. Now I'm gonna look at the building from this side. So I'm gonna go over and move it to this side, and I think that pretty much what I want looking for. I'm gonna make sure that it is the camera is perspective. I can change this one to 2D perspective if I want, or I can keep it as a perspective, and then move this a little bit higher. And now I think that I'm satisfied with this perspective. I'm gonna go here again, right click, and I'm gonna update the scene as well. So it's gonna camera location, hidden geometry. What I can do is just go back to the file, go for the export, and then to the export. Since I just exported, all the options will be the same, so I'm not changing those options. I can just export it as a new file. I'm going to export it as export number 1. So if I go to my folder, you see that I have SketchUp. I have 2 scene export number 1 right here. and export number 2.